Julie, you are an executive coach. I am too. I'm curious for your thoughts on how a coaching approach can make someone a better leader.
Mm. Well, the first thing that came to my mind was a Viktor Frankl quote. It's my
Mm,
very favorite, most favorite quote of all time.
mm,
And it is between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose our response.
mm.
And in our response lies our growth and our freedom.
Yes.
And I believe that, I mean, my whole coaching work is chasing that pause.
Wow,
Chasing
nice.
that pause and trying to create a different response. Another way I think about it from a leadership development perspective is how do I improve line of sight? How do I help my clients improve their line of sight? Because if I have a better line of sight, better visibility into myself, into my environment, that helps create the pause, which then creates more options, more choices to make and to choose what I really want to go after and what I'm chasing.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome.
That's how I think about it. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. Where do you land on that? What's your,
So I think the biggest thing that I learned when I was getting educated as a coach that I wish I had learned before I ever became a leader
yeah.
was to ask permission before giving advice, right? And to minimize the advice giving. I think when I was a young leader, I was like, I'm smart. I got this figured out. Let me tell you what to do here, Kevin. Hey, Stephanie, let me give you some advice. And there are times for that as a leader, right? But as a coach, we're trained to say, can I reflect back what I'm hearing from you? Are
Mm.
you open to a question? And sometimes we're trained to do that as coaches to remind both the coach and the client of the power equality that I'm not a mentor, I'm not your boss, I'm your coach, I'm your thought partner in this. But I think when you ask permission, when you ask, are you ready for a thought from me? May I ask you a question? Are you open to a new bit of information here? It preserves autonomy, which is so hugely motivating. If we micromanage people, we're basically destroying their motivation or eroding their motivation. And if we preserve their autonomy, we keep them engaged and motivated. So
Mm.
I now know after coach training, before I go blasting in with advice, see if people are ready, ask permission,
Mm.
preserve that autonomy, and get the right mindset before you share a thought.
Love it.
So I hope leaders can practice some of what I
Yeah.
had known earlier.
You just reminded me of one other thought too.
Please.
From a leadership role, when you're in those coaching moments with your employees, sometimes, well, I used to forget to ask, what do you want from me in this
Yes.
conversation?
Yes.
I would run off with assumptions of what they want from me. And
Yes.
sometimes that didn't end well. So that's another tip. Going into a conversation, what do you want
I,
from me?
I
So you
I know we're
deliver.
focused on leaders and work here, but honestly, this is beneficial even with my teenage daughters, right?
Sure, right,
My
totally.
wife, my wife gave me a great form of what you're talking about. When my daughter's upset or talking about some challenge, the question is, do you want to be hugged, heard, or helped here? And
Oh,
as a leader in an office, you might not want to include the hug one. Let's be careful, right? But it's just such a great question. Do you want to be hugged? Do you want to be heard, or do you want to be helped? That's more personal than work related, but the theme is there, right? What do you want from me? If
yeah.
you give people what they want, it's going to be much more helpful than if you give them what you want and it's not what they want. So thank you
Correct.
for that excellent addition.
All right.
Thanks, Julie. Great thoughts
You're
as always.
welcome. You're welcome.